Aaron, that's the sort of proper warm-up games. I know you've got a game in a couple of days up in Brisbane, but where would you assess where the team are?
Oh, I think the guys are probably a little bit tired at the moment. In all honesty, I think the schedule has been so packed over the last 6 or 8 weeks that we identified a couple of months ago that we wanted to make sure that we're in a position to be peaking at the right time of the World Cup and not beforehand. So it's going to be important over the next couple of days to try and freshen everyone up as much as we can.
How do you sort of go about that in terms of, you've still got one match to go?
Still one match to go against India on Monday, and then we play again on Friday. Is that right? Friday or Saturday against New Zealand for the first game of the World Cup. So I think there'll be a couple of off days where there's no cricket commitments at all, just allow guys to get away and recharge and however that looks for each individual. But I think overall we're pretty disappointing in this series. England definitely outplayed us. I think with the bat we're always just probably one wicket down further than we needed to be over the whole series. In big run chases, you probably need that one in batter towards the back of the innings, and we're just falling a little bit short each time with that. With the ball, there were some really good signs. I thought the way that Maxi closed out tonight, Zamps' contribution, all the quicks had good roles throughout, and Stoyne as well in that last game. So I think all in all, we're not bad. Just a little sharpen up would be nice.
Is that worrying at all? You say that you weren't quite happy with how you played this series, and does it knock your confidence at all? You're going into the biggest tournament of the year, and I suppose you say you're not playing your best cricket right now. Does that worry you at all?
No, not really. No, I don't. We can't control what's already gone. We know how hard the guys train. Each person trains really well individually, and as a group, we train fantastic. So I think it's just about guys like us peaking at the right time, I think, and not burning out too early.
Are you concerned at all about Glenn's form, or do you just let him?
Not at all. Not one bit. He's an absolute match winner. With guys like that who play a higher risk game than most, you have to ride the ups and downs at times, and with the ball, he's contributed really well as well, and in the field, his contribution is as good as anyone in the world. So I think as an all-round package, he still contributed heavily to this team. With the bat, he would have liked more runs, no doubt. We all would, myself included. But the reality is that you can't expect somebody to play a high-risk game, that high risk all the time, and be consistent. Like his numbers over a long period of time are remarkable. And he's probably one who's probably a little bit fatigued as well. I know he's had a really big workload coming off the 100. He played in the 100 and then the series post that. So I think it's for Maxi, if he gets a really good freshen up over the next few days, he'll come out firing in this World Cup, no doubt.
You said the side was a bit tired. Do you almost wish you weren't playing the game on Monday?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because guys need to get out there and continue to play who are in form and want to keep playing consistently, because that's a really tough thing in T20 cricket, is to have long breaks and then keep being consistent. It can be really challenging as a batter, especially. So I'm sure some guys who haven't got an opportunity in this game or in this series will, and we'll work it out from there. I think we'll probably pick a side on. When's the game again? Sunday. Sorry.
Saturday. Oh, sorry. Tuesday's the.
Monday's a warm-up game. Yeah, so we'll pick a side, probably based on how everyone's feeling. To be fair.
And coming to your 100th match, did you have any reflections on the impact that you've had on Australian cricket over the last few years?
Not really. No, I didn't realise it was my 100th game until we had a team meeting just before we left from the hotel. So I was actually unaware of it. But yeah, it's been a really good ride. It would have been nice to get more than 0 today, obviously. But I'm proud of what I've achieved so far in the game. Hopefully one more World Cup would be nice. But let's wait and see. I mean, I'm sure once I retire and I've got a bit more time on my hands, I'll be able to reflect and enjoy it a little bit more.
Aaron, I know the sort of rain tonight, I guess, created artificial pressure on you guys at the top of the order that you normally might not have to face. But how do you feel about your batting overall?
Feeling really good, yeah. I'm feeling fine. I'm tinkering with a few different things. We knew in a 12-over game we thought there was going to be a little bit more rain, so we wanted to go ultra hard and try and get ahead of Duckworth-Lewis if we did manage to get 5 overs in. And when you play a high-risk game, it can come unstuck at times. And Woke's had it on a string there at the start. It swung the ball more than probably anyone in the series. So that's its challenge as well, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Is the preference to be batting second, chasing when there is rain around?
Oh, I think in over time that's probably been the general theme. It can be a little bit harder at times to know if you bat first, if there's going to be rain coming and stuff like that. So you're not quite sure how hard to go. But I think the trend of T20 cricket over the last 5 years in particular has probably been batting second. Teams are probably a little bit more comfortable doing that. But like in all games, if you don't get early wickets, any team can chase down anything. And on the flip side, if you go into that back 10 overs, one down or so, then it can be such a challenge to stop teams in that back 10 overs when the ball stops moving. So, but probably particularly, there's less dew in Australia than there is in the subcontinent in general. But not a lot of us have played a huge amount of T20 cricket this time of year, especially a World Cup. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I expect that the trend for the tournament will still be batting second for most teams.
Did you give any thought to batting first and just sort of switching it up a bit just for something different, or you sort of touched on the coverage, you wanted to keep working on that chasing ability?
Yeah, I would have. I thought about batting first if we won the toss. It was one of those tosses that you hope to lose because you almost want to bat first, but you still prefer to chase, and that's just reality of T20. And as soon as there's some rain around, you get a little bit more probably biased towards batting second. And I mean the stats at this ground in particular are, I think, heavily weighted towards batting second. Given that's during the Big Bash, which is generally the back half of January, there's more games here, and that's okay.
Aaron, how do you sort of mentally pace yourself through a series like the one that you've just come through, in the sense that you don't want to peak too early when you've got a World Cup coming, but I guess you always want to beat England, and you want to get the preparation right. How do you kind of take what you need out of it, but not get bogged down by the negatives?
Yeah, I think it's about being really individualised with training schedules. Some optional trainings in there which allows guys, if they are flagging a little bit, just to be able to freshen up. And there's each player has different requirements in their preparation as well. So some guys are really structured with how they go about their training. Others are pretty loose, and some guys, like for example the bowlers and Davey, never ever come to training the day before the game. Myself, Steve, a few of the other guys, especially the all-rounders, they always come. So you can't really have a blanket for everyone and saying this is how we prepare over the next week. So again, it'll be really individualised and making sure that everyone gets what they need, both physically, technically, but also mentally.
Just in comparison to 12 months ago, have the days leading into this World Cup felt different for you personally, and also amongst the mood in the squad as it did last year's World Cup?
The mood certainly isn't any different. Internally, we felt really confident leading into the last World Cup when nobody gave us much of a chance, and I'm not sure what people are saying or what the general consensus is, but we're still really confident that we've got the team, the structure, the individuals, the match winners that can win a World Cup, no doubt. It's a really similar squad to what we had last time, and it's just, like I said, it's just about performing on the day. T20 is such a brutal game, and the format, the structure of the T20 World Cup is brutal as well. 10 teams going into 4 is really challenging. So you need a little bit of luck throughout the tournament as well, and we're still very confident though.
Just in England's innings, there was a little comparison between Stark and Joss Butler, where it seemed like like Butler was he was backing up by more than you're meant to.
Right.
And Mitchell seemed to be just to that taken to keep his back kind of further behind.
Wasn't aware. Had no idea about that. Sorry.
Okay.
Have you got any more on it for me? I honestly didn't see it.
There's some photos that are quite interesting.
Okay.
We've got, I mean, that's quite. Are you? Yeah, I guess if a batter is doing that, taking unfair advantage, it's fair to try and stop that from happening.
Good question to finish on. I think if batters get a warning, then it's fair game. After that, I think that and that would go for most teams, I would assume. If you give a batter a warning that you think that they're getting a little bit too much ground before the ball's bowled, then after that. But I'm not a big fan of it, to be fair, personally. But yeah, so we'll wait and see.
Would you be comfortable if one of your bowlers did?
Great question. Ask Wokesy, he's a bowler up there. He's ready to come in. Cheers. Thanks, guys.